We are back, Peanut Gallery. When we left off with talking about Ring of Honor, I said something about the crowd noise.
NWA had their literal production staff and maybe like a few wrestlers out there like doing cheers and boos.
They did cheers and boos right next to the mic. It felt more important.
It did. Even Tyre High thought it was piped in, but it's like, no, that's not piped in. That's like the real thing.
Right. Well, then I saw like one. I think it was.
There was like 20 people there or something like that. Like
right,
yeah.
And they were just in there cheering and saying NWA. It's like this is what I wanted right here.
And
it's
it feels
so
like
easy.
it's a studio space, so you kind of expect that kind of noise from a studio space.
Right. So they had the bleachers. You saw the bleachers, but they were all pulled in because obviously they can't have people yet. But NWA back for the attack. Aldis cut one of the best promos I've ever heard.
God. Not only Aldis, but also Aaron Stevens.
Oh, was...
Oh, my God, the promos for
because this whole thing is dedicated to the question mark or Josephus who passed away.
Right. Or Joseph Hughes.
Right. Yeah. So our first match was a Fatal 4-Way match between two brand new signees, Slice Boogie and Jordan Clearwater and Jack Dane and Crimson.
Right.
So they all signed I almost said Ring of Honor. They all signed NWA contracts. They had a alright little Fatal 4-Way.
It was fine. It was a good like curtain jerker.
Also, before we go into it, how amazing was the commentary team?
Oh my God!
Tim Storm.
It was a little on the quiet time. It was a little on the quiet side.
This match itself, they were trying to get the audio right, so I gave them a pass. But I felt like there was emotion,
right?
And Tim Storm
great.
They put in really good context for everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I felt like even though I did not watch every single show going into it, I felt like I knew exactly what was going on, and it really helped. That dynamic between the two were amazing.
Right,
they're very good back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the first match was all right. Like I said, it was fine, and it was a cradle pile driver for Slice Boogie to win. So I think a new signee to win a match to start with NWA coming back was a great addition. I was very happy with
absolutely.
it. Now let's go into the worst match guaranteed.
Oh my God, this match was
Kratos versus Tyrus. Tyrus is enormous. Not because he's 6'9", because he is a ball. He has not been in a ring in so long. He barely fit in that motherfucker.
It was terrible. That was a terrible match. That was easily the worst match. He
was winded. Tyrus was winded in the first minute.
I know.
And kudos to Kratos. He kept himself in good ring shape. He tried his best and he bumped good.
But you can tell it seems like the Tyrus was just not.
Tyrus, he was running off the ropes like a fucking sloth.
I know.
And Tyrus won with like a big elbow drop. And it
was just terrible.
Right. It was just a bad match. It was just bad. And I'm not going to give anything to Kratos. This was all Tyrus. But I do like his gimmick.
Yes.
The Great American Smash. That's good.
Let's move on to some better matches, though.
Oh, this match was awesome.
Pope versus Thom Latimer
for the NWA World Television Championship.
This one actually ended in a draw because they ran out of time.
This was so good. This was such a great match.
It was.
I was not sure about it because, obviously after the Kratos Tyrus, I was kind of soured, but this one really brought me back into the fray. This was not a 10-minute match.
No.
This was a 30-minute match. And it was, are you sure? Are you positive it was only 10 minutes?
I'm pretty positive. That's what they had on Wikipedia. So
that's weird.
10 minutes. So anyways.
So they gave 10 minutes to the NWA television title match, but they gave 30 minutes to the national title match?
Yeah, because that's the way that the television title's always been.
All right, whatever.
It's always been 10. You know what?
Here's my thing.
It needed more than 10 minutes.
Right. It was a 10-minute match, but it felt like a 10-minute match.
Right.
They did not
They didn't finish it. They didn't overdo it or anything
right.
like
They
that.
They didn't overpace themselves.
Obviously setting it up for a future rivalry.
Right. They did not cram a bunch of shit into it to get all their shit in. They really they gave the match some time to breathe. And that's why I'm like, this couldn't have been 10 minutes because it felt like a longer match, and that's what I want.
Right.
Wow, that felt like a longer match. I really enjoyed it.
It was a draw.
So the Pope is still champion.
Yep.
They're obviously setting up for another one, and I'm cool with it.
Right. Great match. Camille versus Thunderosa. What a match.
Camille is huge in a good way. She looks like a champion.
Right.
If they gotta build this company around her. She's impressive.
Yeah.
Her wrestling skill is much better. Now she's in there with Thunderosa.
Right. Thunderosa ain't no like
she made Camille look like $1 million.
Oh yeah.
But you can tell that Camille was trying.
Right.
She had good facial expressions, great timing, great pacing. This is how you do a really nice, palatable women's match.
Right.
Nobody looked weak.
Right.
It was 2 spears, which were great spears, by the way. For Camille to win, she's #1 contender. She's taking the title off of Serena Deeb. I guarantee it. Because why wouldn't you?
Trevor Murdoch versus Chris
This match was so good.
It was.
So we bitch about Tyrus being overweight. This is where a person who has a little bit of pudge is still athletic.
Right.
Trevor Murdoch was bigger, but he did not look out of shape.
He didn't look like he was winded after going off the top rope.
He went off the top rope for a beautiful cross body. He ran off the ropes with some oomph. Mm-hmm. You really felt it. He was not sweating like a whore in church. He knows how to pace himself.
He's a seasoned big man brawler wrestler.
And I love it. We need more of these guys.
Right.
I want to see a guy with a little bit of pudge that can punch you in the mouth and it looks nice and crisp.
I can do that for you right now.
How about you don't, or I kill you? And then Chris Adonis, he's big, but he looks healthy.
He looks like a muscular gentleman. Right.
He paced himself well. This was a great match.
I just love how they referred to him as the best person who can pull off a full Nelson.
So no, they said he was the master of the full Nelson.
That's right. He was a master. And so if you don't get the references to Bobby Lashley both times there, then you're just a terrible human.
Right. So it was a roll-up for Trevor Murdoch to reign as champion.
To retain,
which is great. Adonis attacked him after it.
So you know it was going to be a match.
Right. So instead of doing like what Adonis did with the master lock, doing the swinging like Lashley does now, he basically puts you in like a modified Steiner recliner.
Right.
And I think that's great to really distinguish him from it because Bobby Lashley's right now the champion of WWE. He's the hottest thing going.
Right.
So I loved this match.
Right. Oh,
it was a fun Haas match.
Yep.
I loved it. I just loved the presentation. I loved it.
It was a great match.
Anyway, this is the match. Nick Aldis, Aaron Stevens for the World's Heavyweight Champion. This match was freaking awesome.
This was a tremendous match.
It was great back and forth.
Yep.
Really, I think really the crowd helped with a lot of this.
Yes.
You could really tell the emotion. Stevens, man, it was hard for him to get in there. And we'll bitch about something here in a minute. But this was such an incredible match. Yeah. But Aldis won.
I know. What the fuck, man?
Here's the thing. I'm not saying that Aldis is a bad NWA World Heavyweight Champion because I think really the kind of work ethic that this guy has really brought some attention back to the belt.
Yeah.
But with Aaron Stevens as close as he was to Josephus, and
he should have won.
He should have won. This was his moment. Even if he lost it at the Crockett Cup in a couple of months, it doesn't matter.
Right.
He should have won. This would have been the best feel-good moment ever.
Right.
Ever. They did a great little tribute after.
They did.
And so because I don't want people to feel disappointed that we went off on a good light. Let's talk about the backstage announcer.
Oh my god, she was terrible.
So I don't know what you're doing. Can you not do that?
So anyways,
get your hands out of your pants.
So anyways, here's the thing, is that she could pronounce her W's very well. It sounded like she was from Russia, but it also sounded like she was a mix between like
a southern
Georgia and Minnesota.
Right. So she had like this. So
NWA.
So here's the thing. It's not being mean or anything, but I guarantee you
Good
that she
Lord.
was. I guarantee you that she was not born in this country.
No, her English is her second language.
Easily, and this is not being mean, but it was obvious.
It was obvious.
So because the one thing is that when you have a second language,
it sounded like it was like I have some friends who are in broadcasting. And literally when I thought about someone like her, I'm like, that sounds like my friends when they did their first television spots. Like,
right. Now she had some work with it because it's not like she screwed up anything. Right. But the thing is, and I think if you have learned English as a second language, it sounds robotic.
It does.
Because the thing is that I think a lot of foreigners who learn English try harder to make sure that they get phoneticisms correctly. Right. And I think the same thing with any second language.
But
that's what I felt like.
Yeah, but it also does sound like it was like her first time ever in front of a camera. And
right.
It's like, I can tell because I've had friends who have been in the camera for the first time. I watched them, and it's like, yeah, you sound.
Now, obviously, with some seasoning, I do see potential there.
Well, of course, with anyone you give them seasoning, there's potential.
Right. I just don't think her first time back being on NWA back for the attack, the first show back in a year and a half was the right move.
Right. Anyways. Let's talk about star ratings, and let's talk about the best match of the night, which I'm pretty sure we both know the best match of the night
The best match of the night by a country mile was Aldis and Stevens, and I'm giving the whole show a 4.
Oh, wow. Maybe a 3.5.
Okay.
All right.
Same thing with the match of the night.
Yeah. And so next week we are going to be doing something with Japan.
So next week it's going to be a shorter of a show because we only have one, and also so next 2 weeks, we're going to do our general wrestling lesson, we're going to do our general Bible study, and we're going to be covering Sakura Genesis.
WrestleMania week, we are only going to be doing WrestleMania stuff.
Yep, no
Bible study, no wrestling lesson.
We were thinking about separating it, but we're like, I would rather sacrifice wrestling lesson and Bible study so we can really break that down. That one will most likely be a really long show, but we're expecting that.
So anyways, next week should be a little bit shorter in lieu of the week after.
Now keep in mind, everybody, so check out our Flow page for all of the links for all of our social media.
Yes.
Become a patron. We're gearing up for some big changes here soon.
We are.
So definitely check it out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. My God, I think we've grown like 200%.
Yeah.
Like... A month this time, we weren't even at 100, and we're almost at 200 subs.
Nice.
It's insane.
And it's going to get better.
Absolutely. So, definitely check that out. Thank you guys for listening, and as always, be
majestic.